Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. As promised, now we have a black build, our new Dell. This one is a Dell Vostro 230 with Windows 7 built in. It appears to be a youth minister's old computer. It's at least what it says up here, youth min assistant. So we're going to get started on this, see what we've got in it before we start tearing it down. He did tell me that he forgot the password and that I would need to figure something out on that. We'll see if we can't get into it, or if not, it's not a big deal. We can move on and start tearing it down. So we'll see if we can get into it. I know there's a few things that you can do to get around passwords. So we'll let this thing boot up. Again, Dell Vostro 230. Windows 7 Professional, huh? Okay. No. See if there's a guest, administrator. No. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 0, 0. ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay. How about password? I can't believe that actually worked. It really was just password, or we're getting locked out, one of the two. No, okay. Gave me hope there for a second. Okay, so there's a few things we can do. Let's shut this off, and we'll try to go through one thing I know about maybe resetting passwords on this. We have to shut it down and have to do a hard reset. So we'll shut this down completely. Alright, we're all the way off, and then we have to wait for the Windows loading screen, and then we'll hold down to shut off. So I'm going to turn it on, and we're going to wait for the little stars to make the Windows logo, and that's when we're going to shut it down. So pretty close, right there. We're going to hold the button until it shuts down. Okay. Now sometimes it will automatically restart. Sometimes it won't. You'll have to actually manually start it. It looks like I'm going to have to restart. Alright, and it should be going, try to go through its repair steps here. Let's see. Yep. So we're going to want to launch startup repair recommended. Let it do its thing. Now this could take a 10, 15 minutes, even longer sometimes, depending on the hardware that's inside of it. So we'll let that finish and we'll be right back. So it wasn't very long, maybe a minute or two. It gave me this option. We're not going to do this, so we're going to cancel and let it keep going on its course. Alright, this one wasn't too bad, about 7 minutes or so. So after we get here, after it's finished its process, we're going to go to View Problem Details, click down on that, scroll all the way at the bottom, click the very last link. It'll open a text file. You want to go up here to File and Open, double click on Computer. Now you want to go to the your main drive in this system. It's not going to be the recovery. It's not going to be this little boot, but you're going to go to this, your main OS drive, and you're going to go down to the Windows folder, double click on that. You're going to change the file types from text documents to all files. Come down here. Where's it at? We're looking for System 32. There we are. Open System 32, and again, this one you're going to go all the way down to Set. It should be in alphabetical order. So Set HC. Set HC. I'm going to click on it again. It'll highlight it. We're just going to add a 1 at the end of it. So Set HC 1. Enter. So that changed the name of that. Now we're going to have to come back up to CMD. You're going to copy this, scroll all the way at the bottom, right click, paste. Alright, now that I pasted it down there, you're going to want to change it to just set HC no 1. So we're renaming it to the original file of the other one. Alright, no number 1, like I said, hit enter, and then we can close out of all this. We're not going to send. Click finish. And it's going to shut off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to return it on. And we'll wait until we get to the login screen with the password and all that. Okay. Alright, now we're going to hit Shift 5 times to pull up the command prompt. Alright. Now we're going to type in net user and enter. And this is going to give a list of all of the users. So what I ended up having to do is changing the domain, and was able to sign in with one of those accounts. So I would do the local min assist, and then I think it was / jop one of the users, and then typed in that password that I had changed. So we are in here. I'm not gonna worry about figuring out anything in this as far as what's in here. Mainly what I'm interested in is some of the specs and everything. So 283 gig, so probably just 300 gig hard drive. Windows 7 Pro, Service Pack 1, Dell Vostro 230. We have an Intel Core 2 Duo E7500 at 2.93 gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM. That's good for this. So we are in here. We've seen some of the specs now. I'll get a picture of this, that way I can remember it, and we will start the teardown. Alright, we got it laid here on the side. We'll take the thumb screw out of the back. It's missing one. It's no big deal. I can get another one. Slide this panel back. Alright, we can get our anti-static wristband if you got one. If not, it's really not a big deal. I'm just going to hold the power button, make sure there's no power still in here. Hold it for a few seconds. You can ground yourself again to the case some more if you wish. Not a big deal. Alright, that should all be good. I'm going to move this. Should be out of my way right there. Okay, I'm going to pop this front panel off. Same thing as the other one. It just kind of, you lift these 3 little tabs off. It kind of hinges forward a little bit. And there we go. It's dusty, it's dirty, it's used. That's okay. A little scratched up, but overall not too bad. Set that off to the side. Alright, first things first, this hard drive seems to be kind of in the way a little bit, so let's unplug this. Alright, we'll take the PSU connector off. Alright, unplug the CD drive. Exhaust fan. Alright, got it. We got a 4-pin CPU right there. Oh, it's zip tied to the PSU. Okay. We'll take the power supply or the hard drive out. Slide that back. Set that over to the side. Hopefully it's just these 2 screws for this CD. Oh, it's a DVD drive too. That's good. Since we're going to be doing a lot of modifications in here, I don't want anything left. Slides forward. We'll move this out of the way. We'll take the fan off on the back. This one has 2 screws and 2 clips for the other side. So they just kind of slide into place. Set that off to the side. We'll get the PSU out next. Again, we're looking at 4 bolts. Alright, let's get a little tab here that kind of push back, slides, and that's all for the PSU. Next is the motherboard. We'll take these front I/O covers. We've got a headphone. We've got our power buttons and HD LEDs. Then we have a USB. It's got a little tab, just kind of push it out of the way, or lift it up, I should say. Now we'll do the motherboard. Take the motherboard standoff screws off. Alright, that is it. Should be able to slide this back just a little bit. Turn it up a little bit. And there she goes. Alright, so for the front, I think we're going to leave this in, the headphone microphone jack. It is the standard HD audio cable here, so I think this is actually fine. We'll just leave that. What we probably will change out though is these old USBs. I don't know what they are, 1 point something, mate. So we'll change these out to 3.0s. We can take this off. To see what kind of modification we're going to need to do to this to get it apart and all that. The button, LED, another LED over here. I believe this is all standard too. It looks like it to me. So we will verify that. Get my tape measure. So last time we put in a 92 millimeter down here. I don't think this is gonna work. I've got a couple 92s here. I think it's gonna be where I guess, let's see. Let me see if I can do it this way. See what it looks like from the front side. So going all the way at the bottom. I guess it could fit. We might be all right with a 92 right there. And without actually having to move any of this. The other option, and I've got some 80 millimeters as well. These obviously are going to do a little less, but they fit a lot nicer with a lot less modification, and additionally gives you some more room for these buttons. And what I may do also is, I think an 80 will fit right above it as well. So we might have a couple of intake fans right there. Since we're not going to be doing anything with the floppy, we're going to kind of reuse these USB holes there for the front of the case. thinking about maybe doing a little bit more intake there. I don't necessarily think we need it for what we're planning on putting in here. I'll just see what it looks like, and we'll go from there. Like I said, this is just all the planning. That way I don't have to mess with any of these, any kind of buttons or anything. So, and again, we'll cut this out to allow for better airflow. We'll end up having to do the same thing here with the GPU to come in here, because I think the one I have is about 12.5 inches, about as long as the other one. So it's going to have to be, again, all the way out here. Other plans, I don't think I'm going to cut the holes for the PSU on this time. We're just going to leave it here like it is and try it out. Give it that cleaner look. I know another modification is we're going to have to cut holes for the air down here at the bottom. So I've got a hole saw that we'll put down here. I don't have a third fan. Let me just see. It's just barely big enough for 392s down there. If someone wanted to add them in the future. I don't think we will. These, you may have to get slim fans for down there. These are nice. They have both feet. My other one didn't, so. Last, it looks like, again, oh, no. We got lucky on this one, I think. I think this one just pops out. Yes. Oh, lovely. That's so nice. I don't have to cut that. So this case is definitely so far shaping up to be a lot more friendly for us modern users. Not having to worry about this, cutting the hole back there, not having to cut the hole back here. A little bit of USB in the front. This is turning out really, really helpful for us as far as speeding up this build. So it might be, since I'm not having to do near as much modifications, and this down here, as far as the intake fans for the GPUs, will be a lot easier with that hole saw, I think, and a lot quicker, that we might just add that other 80mm front fan in the front just to help it open up. A couple things that I like about this case as well. We've got some intake slits here on the sides, both sides. I might at the very bottom, probably not, but you could drill some holes in this part right here, straight through both, just to give it a little bit more air through the very bottom. No one's going to be able to see that. Again, that's what I like, is, you know, no one will be able to see it, because on this part they probably would, and this for the most part is covered up anyway, so I don't think that would gain you much. So I think just in this little strip right here I could drill some holes, add a little bit more. I might do that just for the sake of doing it. And that's the front pretty well taken care of. The other thing I like is we've got slits down here again for the GPU. So this thing should breathe really well. Alright, now that we're outside, first thing I want to do is turn it over, and up here we're going to take this rivet out to allow, in case we want to, this 92mm fan, because that rivet sticks up at the bottom about 3/16 of an inch, so that'll give us that will allow us to drop it down a little bit further down into the case to possibly get a 92mm fan. So we'll get that drilled out. All right. It did not pop out just quite yet. See if we can punch it out. There we go. Punched it out. Next, I think we'll work on the 3 holes down here. We're not going to save this label, I don't think, this time, unless it comes off a lot easier than the other one. We'll just have to see on that. I don't have a back panel to put it on necessarily, so I'd have to find somewhere else to put it, but I think we're going to do this. Now, I will say, a hole saw, 3 5/8. I just purchased this on Amazon, so we'll try that out. And as always, I've got my safety glasses on. You can't see them. My mask here. And should have had gloves on the last time, but we'll do some gloves. All right, I got the first one marked where I want it. I'm gonna put on the mask. I'm gonna drill a pilot hole first, and then we'll do the hole saw. I think that bit has seen its better days. All right, let me get ready, set up, and I'll start drilling the other one. All right, we got the first one done. There's a tab here for cable management. I think we're gonna cut that down or cut it off when we get to it, but I'll finish marking these holes, and we'll get those cut out. And we're also gonna have to deburr these, clean them up a little bit, but I think it turned out pretty nice. That's what that looks like. Turned out pretty good. The next thing I think we're gonna do is we'll have to pop these 2 rivets out here and cut this second hard drive cage out to allow room for that GPU. Alright, that's what that looks like. On this corner, it's so hard to get in there even after bending this up. Just kind of have to hack away at it, bend it back and forth. 2 rivets at the bottom there. So next thing we will look at is, I guess we are ready for the holes in the front for the fans. So we'll have to get this set up. Alright, so we have these marked out. This is for a 92mm, and this is going to be for an 80mm fan. We're going to have these as intake, so I'll get these cut out and I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, there are those 2 fan holes for intakes cleaned up. Again, hard drive cage has been removed, and 3 intake fans down there for the GPU have been opened up. Everything has been deburred, and that's going to be it for this episode of the Dell Vostro V230. We got it all tore down. I've got all my parts with maybe the exception of one. I don't know yet what I'm going to do on the RAM on the DDR4, if I want to try to get a 32 gig kit or just keep with the 16 gig that I have. But on the next episode, you'll see me putting this thing together and showing you the parts and why I went on them, why I chose them. So if you liked what you've seen, have any suggestions, ideas, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.